Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of Fueling Tomorrow. I'm your host, Erin Bailey, and today I am joined by Ashley Johnson, our department chair of science at Legacy High School, and my teammate, Ashley Colquitt, corporate affairs rep at Diamondback Energy. And we are talking all about the Diamondback STEM Lab. Ladies, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Ashley Colquitt, we're going to dive in with you. Talk to about how this came to be for Diamondback and why we decided to start this program in MISD.
I've never heard this story, so
Okay.
I'm
Well,
curious too.
yes. So we actually were going through our summer STEM camp, Diamondback STEM camp, and I had some individuals come and just provide feedback regarding STEM camp. What can we improve? How's engagement? All of these things. And Jason Osborne's name came up, and this really cool way of providing instruction through virtual reality. And I learned a little bit more investigating syGlass and learned about Michael Moorhead, his work. And I was like, I told someone, I want to meet this Jason Osborne. And so,
And we should say the Diamondback STEM Lab is powered by syGlass.
yes, it's
Which,
their
yes.
technology that they're bringing. And so Jason and the team met. We had some conversations regarding the virtual reality component, and then what really compelled me to investigate this further was that there is a component that's a curriculum component. And the one that we were interested in at that point in time was anatomy physiology. What is super interesting or fascinating about this curriculum and through the virtual reality is we're actually able to connect with professors from various universities such as Ohio State University, MIT, SMU, Berkeley. These professors come in to provide recorded and live instruction to students that are in the VR, as well as provide data where the kids get to go analyze the data and then submit it to the professors at the university, which involves them in research and development on a college level. So high school students are able to do this. And how cool is it for a student to be able to put on their application to a college, hey, look, I've been part of R&D for Ohio State University and their anatomy physiology department or their neuroscience department. Um, those are opportunities that a lot of students, and I will say students not only in high school, students in college rarely
Can I
get this
interrupt?
opportunity.
There's 12 high schools in the country, and I think we're about to add the 13th.
Yes.
So
That have this technology.
that have this
Yes.
technology. Like
Yes.
it's in the
Truly cutting edge.
Yes, most definitely.
I mean, it is cutting edge. And so with that, I was like, this is super cool.
She said we have
So
to have it.
we have to have this. And Diamondback really wants to bring this innovation to students in Midland.
Our
Let's
future
talk about
leaders.
our future leaders. So kind of knowing a little bit regarding systems and who to talk to first. We went to high schools to see who would be interested. We had the director of science, the science coordinator, Brittany Allen, review what we wanted to bring as the Diamondback STEM Lab. She was extremely excited, and um, actually, she knew the perfect teacher to bring this work, and it was you as an innovator, a creator, willing to be brave and take chances. And we needed that mindset and that willingness to take this and pilot it because this is atypical in how we're delivering curriculum and delivering instruction.
And Ashley Johnson, with that, We knew we needed a brave teacher, and you were willing to take that leap with
I didn't realize
Diamondback.
what I was buying into at the time.
She
I
said, "Yeah,
liked
sure."
you. I liked you. And I was like, oh, she's got a lot of energy. Like, I like what she has to say. I did not understand all that I was buying into.
So
But
now talk to
You
us
did
through
great.
that first year.
so the first year, there was a lot of struggles. We
Mhm.
are, like I said, we're one of 13 now, I guess, high schools in the country that have this technology. So when we have a hiccup, we call the CEO.
Yeah.
When we have, and so when we have a hiccup, the lady that answers the phone is the lady in the video. And so my kids are like, wait a minute. Wait, that's, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it is. And so it's that in and of itself is really cool. However, there are the hiccups, but I have my kids that have had the VR experience, and then I have my kids that are like me and had never put a VR headset on. And I
Mhm.
just kind of hold, I didn't even know what hand to put the controllers in. And kids are great and they have a learning curve, but they catch on really fast.
Right.
And they're constantly teaching me things. And um, I mean, I think I wasn't ready for the learning curve because I'm so used to, after 20 something years of teaching, I'm used to kind of knowing my stuff. And so
Mhm.
now now that we've got it started though, it's great.
From the start of the year to the end, what was the feedback you got from your first year students after they finished the class?
Um, they wanted to do more because we only really got to touch the surface, I think,
Mhm.
and they wanted to do more. So I feel like this year's group has kind of gotten the full experience. And the first day, first probably 2 days, they're like, "Wait, what button do I push? I don't understand." But then by the end, I was telling you earlier, they were coming in to use it for tutorials because they're like, "I would rather use that than my textbook." So
Oh, and
it
who wouldn't?
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's pretty cool.
And now we're going into year 2.
Yes.
You've already started off on a better footing than where you were
Much
last
better.
year.
Much better.
But one of the, I think the most amazing part of going into year 2 is that component that we've added with Midland College. So, Ashley, we'll let you touch on the partnership that came to be for that. And then, Ashley Johnson, I'll have you touch on the benefits.
Yes.
Sure. So, when we first started reviewing this opportunity for the Diamondback STEM Lab powered by syGlass, it we are e- essentially saw from the very beginning this could be a dual credit opportunity. Ashley and Brittany and I both saw that, and for us at Diamondback, it really was from the get go. This is a vision to make this a dual credit, a partnership, to where when kids take this, they're getting college credit. So that has been conversations with MISD as well as Midland College. So we've had meetings and really had gave them the opportunity to experience the technology. When Midland College saw it, they were like, "This goes beyond the plastic models that we can actually provide, and that the labs and the class itself can actually be combined to reduce the amount of minutes that the class would take." They were like, "This is a no-brainer. This needs to be a dual credit course." And they had said, "We've tried working with MISD to make this happen for over a decade. And with this opportunity that Diamondback's bringing, we're now able to make this happen for kids, uh, which is extremely exciting. And it happened in a short period
That's,
of
I was going to
time.
say, I feel like we need to put emphasis on the fact that we went from year 1 to year 2 and now it's dual credit.
And it's
Yes.
dual credit.
Yes.
And Ashley's running that. And so we're so excited that um, she's leading that work. And Ashley, we have over 45 students that are
Mhm.
participating in the dual credit
Credit version of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably 93 that are in the class itself.
So talk to us about, you've already seen some success with it being offered as a dual credit. So
Right.
share that with us.
So Ashley knows that I don't like to talk about me as a teacher. I would prefer to talk about the student. So I'm not telling her name, but I asked her if I could tell her story. And so I had her when she was a sophomore and she took anatomy as a sophomore. Super bright girl. Um, She was telling me the other day that she has taken she has four college credits now that she hasn't paid anything for, textbooks, nothing, because she's been able the opportunity through MISD to do that. But she was lacking her college credit. I mean, her college science credit. Um, this is I've been in MISD for 16, 17 years, and I've been at LHS for 12, 13 of that. And this is the first time we've ever offered a dual credit course. So
In science.
in science,
Yeah.
yeah, in
That's
science. So we have
huge.
it in math, we have it in English, we have it in social studies,
Mhm.
but we haven't had it in science. So she was talking about the fact that before this, she was really short in that area. And this is a great opportunity. She actually is taking this course as an audit for a high school credit, and she's only taking it so that she can get college credit for it.
Wow.
So she sat in my anatomy class pre syGlass, and now she's sitting in my class during syGlass, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, it's so much different. Like the things that you were telling us is I can see it now. Like
Yeah.
for instance, we're just finishing our histology lab, and I always tell them now our microscopes, they don't zoom in a whole bunch, but if you look real carefully,
Mhm.
you can see the
Have your
cilia.
perfect 20/20 vision.
Yes, and you zoom it in just perfect and breathe just perfect, you can get the picture of the cilia. And then but now through syGlass, they have Dr. Harmon, and he's telling them this is where the cilia is, and then they can just pause the video and they can expand that epithelial tissue slide to the size of the room, and they can see the cilia now. So that's pretty great, and they can pause it, and it really kind of gives them a control of their learning because they can pause, they can stop, they can take as long as they want. If he talks too fast, they can stop, talk to each other, and it really kind of gives them that freedom to do those things.
And going through the class structure for this, talk to me about how it is a collaboration, not only with you and the students, but with the students themselves.
In essence, you've kind of taken they have to work in pairs. In some of the projects where we're really gathering a lot of data, they work in groups of 3 to 5.
Wow.
It just depends on what the actual project is and what the purpose of the activity is. But it takes a village because in essence, you're taking one person's vision away from them, but then you're also taking another person's I mean, they can hear it, but they can't hear it and see it at the same time without the video. So it kind of distorts it a little bit. So it forces them to kind of become one person to complete the activity. And so that is, you can't beat that in collaboration and communication
Those
and
soft skills.
right, those skills that they're going to need in life,
Right.
not just, and it also is resilience. And because I can't step in the headset and do the steps for them. They have to then communicate to me, this is what I'm seeing, and then I have to walk them through it, and they don't realize that those are huge life skills that not everybody has.
Yeah.
And the ability to look at something and see that it's hard and figure it out. And we call it in education, we call it productive struggles.
And I
Mhm.
feel
And
like
they're
too,
good for you.
they try and figure it out amongst themselves before they
Yes.
bring it to someone else,
Yes.
which is, I mean, people need that in the work world
Yes.
every day.
Yes.
But we have all had the opportunity to try the headset. So I'm going to ask both of you. I mean, and I've said multiple times, I wish this was around when I was in high school or college. Just science in general, for that matter, would have been much easier to learn. But what are your favorite parts about it?
I mean, when you have a kid that's working at a coffee shop and taking coffee to your vehicle for, a
I
program,
love this.
rolling baristas, and his name is Ty.
Yeah.
And he saw our Diamondback STEM Lab signs powered by syGlass. And he said, "Wait, you're Diamondback." And I was like, "Yes, not Diamondback, but I
The
work for
one.
Diamondback." And he goes, "You're the people that brought in the lab." And I was like, "Yes, sir, we are." And he looked at me and he said, "I am your impact." And when he said that, I teared up. He said, "I take Mrs. Johnson's anatomy physiology class, and this is phenomenal." And just thank you so much. This experience is beyond what I could ever imagine a class being. And I will never forget that. So to me, that is probably my favorite part of this experience.
It's pretty great.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
I would say that this year, my favorite part was when they first put the headsets on and it takes there's a lot of steps to get it all working because you have to
Yes.
hook up the VR and then you have to hook up the computer, you have to do those things, but once they finally go through all the steps and it turns on for the first time and they see the room, they're like that gasp, that that gasp of pure excitement is
Wow.
definitely, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
I
exciting.
think to be a high schooler, how cool is it to go tell your friends that you get to learn with virtual reality?
Yes. And so I have the headsets in my little case in my room,
Mhm.
and my other classes and other kids will come in and be like, "Why don't we get to use those?" Oh no, I don't know. Talk to Diamondback.
I know. I know. That's us. Um, no, it's a phenomenal experience. I can remember as a kid, looking at the chlorophyll cell and the teacher asking, "Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see
Oh my
it?"
gosh,
And
and
you
then
get
draw it,
tired.
and you're like,
Yes.
"I can't
Yeah,
even
you
see
get
it to
tired of
start
saying,
off."
"No, I can't see it." So you
Right.
just say, "Yeah, I see it."
But
Here,
now you can
you
you can see
can
it.
blow it up the size of a room to really see what that it looks like, whether that's a cilia, chlorophyll, a
Or
brain, a human
yes,
heart.
or even dissecting an animal, but through virtual reality,
Yes.
and
So
then they can zoom themselves to be inside the body.
so they can dissect a whole human body.
Yeah.
So the first activity that we did this year is they had different, and they call them meshes and data sets, but really they've just taken lots and lots and lots of CT scans and MRIs and they've stacked them together. And the kids can they just take their little controller and they go like this and it just opens up the whole body and they see it all. So they measured a human brain, a mouse brain, bacteria, and a couple of other things. And then they were able to compare the measurements because when we start talking in anatomy, when we start talking about you have your molecules and your cells and then your organelles and your organ systems, they don't understand how all that works. But when you start showing them how tiny these things are in comparison to that, then they start having kind of a basis to be able to work with in terms of size.
Right.
Mhm.
And then when we get to the bones and the muscles, they dissect the body and just pull off the muscles and it on the handset, it tells them or the controller. See, I don't VR. I
We knew
don't
what you were
VR.
talking about.
Yeah, but it'll tell them. They'll just click on the button and it'll tell them, what the muscle is, what the bone is, and then they can dissect it. They can change the views and so they have a human body model, but then they can pick which systems they want to look at. So they can look at the integumentary system, they can look at the nervous system, they can look at them all together if they want. And they get to make those choices of how they want to learn.
And we've touched on it a bit, but what do you think, as the teacher and an educator, is the biggest difference for students learning this way as opposed to just a textbook?
I like the fact that number one, this is an opportunity that they get that other students don't get. And we are moving into a world where this will become normal.
Right.
Mhm.
And the way I learned is going to be in the 1900s, like they say on the TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
That on the TikTok, they're like,
That makes
"Ooh,
us
you've
sound
been
so
born in
old.
the 1900s?" And my kids will ask me, "Were you born in
1980s.
the
Yeah,
1900s?"
when we were
Yes,
churning our own butter. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And so, that way of learning is going to disappear,
Mhm.
and our kids get to look back and say, "Oh, I was doing that before anybody was doing that. Like I was the first." And I love the fact that they get to say that.
It's crazy talking to Brittany Allen with MISD. She said, Ashley, most kids around the world do not get the opportunity that students in Midland are having with this STEM lab, which is exciting and it is innovative. Um, so I mean, to me, I just thank you for being brave enough to really spearhead this.
I
It would
thank
not have
you
happened.
for giving us all the fun things.
I'm all about the fun. Erin and
We're
I are
trying
all
to
about
make
the
learning
fun.
fun. We want
Yes.
the kids to show up to school and be ready and eager to
Yes.
learn.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
goal.
Yes. Do we get to use the headsets today?
And
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
yes. And it's got to be innovative and for us transformative. Like
Mhm.
it
Yes.
really needs to be about impact.
And I feel like it's the whole kid. It's not just their brain, but it's the whole kid that we're teaching there.
Absolutely. Wow.
And since you did such a great job piloting this program at Legacy High, we were able to bring it to a second campus in Midland. And Ashley, I'm going to have you touch on that and why. Well, and let's touch on Diamondback's investment as a whole. This syGlass it's not a cheap software. So Diamondback is putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into education in MISD, and now we're bringing it to YWLA. So talk about that.
Right. So, and I do want to preface this. We do a lot of work throughout Midland ISD. This is just one project.
Yeah, we'd
So,
be here for hours if we were going to talk
yes,
about everything.
yes. So, with this, we saw that there is huge potential. So, how do we continue to grow this and continue these experiences? And YWLA, Young Women's Leadership Academy, showed great interest. And they were like, Ashley, their anatomy and physiology uh, program is phenomenal. We would also like to explore neuroscience.
Nice.
So, with these girls at the school that are really excited about exploring STEM, we're working to build the future future female leaders of STEM in the areas of AMP and neuroscience, which is extremely exciting. And so the launch of that is this year.
Yes.
And just like the kids over at Legacy have taken and just, you know, taking control of their learning and, engaging in that process, we know the scholars there will as well. So we're just continuously planting those seeds, and our goal is that we hope that it continues to grow.
And my next question, I think both of you can touch on this, is for maybe the people watching that their kids have grown out, were aged out of school, or they're adults, or they have kids that are coming up through our education system. What is one thing you would want them to know about this program and what it means for future generations of students?
I think one thing that this program, you know, what we hope that the message that we're sending is that there is a new group of learners that Ashley tapped into. It is all about inquiry. It is all about problem solving, and exploration. And that the ways that we traditionally learn through textbook, a desk, and in rows, that is going away. And that as we move forward, we need to move forward tapped into how our students learn, how our kids learn, and really thinking about, being okay and dreaming big and being a part of innovation.
As you were sitting there talking, um, another part of the program that we haven't even touched on yet is
Oh,
the
yes.
backyard brains part.
Yes.
And so
Ooh,
I
yes.
was sitting and I was thinking, I was like,
God,
oh my gosh, I forgot. And so Backyard Brains is also a part of the STEM lab.
so exciting.
And this one is more of kind of, I mean, you have the VR and that's fun.
Yes.
Um, like it's
We're
fun.
Yeah,
It's
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 considered.
fine.
fun.
It's
It's
just
fine.
virtual
Whatever.
reality.
It's fine. But then we also have the Backyard Brains where it was a small company that was two guys that were in neurology
Right.
and they were studying neurology and they were like, why is neurology so hard to study? And so they have brought those huge ideas of neurology and the brain and how the brain works into these little box 6 of things, but you hook your kids up. I know it
Oh my
sounds really
gosh, I
crazy.
forgot about
Yes,
it,
I
Erin.
know.
Oh,
And so you
this
hook your kids up and they use because your body's made out of electricity and there's like that.
this is one of the
Yes.
crazy
Yes.
experiments.
And so, but there's multiple. You just got to see one. There's multiple
Yes.
and it works. It shows how the nervous system pretty much works throughout the whole body and how that's our teaks is that all the body systems work together to make the whole person. And so this shows that almost how the nervous systems and all the systems work together. But you hook anyways. I'm getting
Yeah,
excited.
yeah,
I'm
because
sorry.
it's like
I'm sorry.
magic.
I'm
It is
sorry.
magic
So
You
you
to
know
hook.
me.
they
It's
hate
not
it.
science, it's
Yeah.
magic.
So you hook they hook them up to one of the activities. You hook them up to
Neurotransmitter.
the neurotransmitters, and one person can actually control the other person's arms. So you kind of like intersect the talking between the neurons of their body, and then so we would be back to
Yeah.
back, and I would squeeze, and her arm would be like this.
And when you say it, and I remember when we did it at the Steam Fest, I was like, there's no way this is actually going to work.
It
And then you
actually-
get hooked up, and then you just have to think, okay, flex your fist. And then all of a sudden, your fist is moving from someone else thinking. You're
Mhm.
like, what the heck?
I know.
It's so, and then we measured their chewing, but it brings in the technology. So all of this is then they're able to graph and collect data from their
Sound
muscles
waves.
and from their muscles and how their muscles move and how their nervous system works. And then we're able to collect that data, but it's them. And that's the coolest part.
is
They're
so-
measuring themselves. And so that makes it very personal.
And I think it's so fulfilling for them as students.
Yes.
Because now their work has meaning. And
Yes.
it's going towards something that benefits something other than themselves. And it makes us proud as Diamondbackers, but I think for you as a teacher, are you just like over the moon?
Oh, I love it. They're so cute. I love them. They're the best.
That's so exciting.
Yes.
Are there I'm so glad you brought that up because
I completely forgot. There's so many wonderful.
But it's so
there is-
cool.
I wish
It's so
everyone
cool.
could have a chance to come see it.
Yes,
But
yes.
we'll send some videos in and we'll hopefully play some over it. But are there any final thoughts you'd like to say about the Diamondback STEM Lab powered by syGlass?
I mean, it's exciting to be part of this innovative and immersive technology, but also just it's exciting to be a part of this work that, I mean, it's cutting edge.
And I think in an era that we find ourselves in, just in general, education doesn't always get the best rap,
Right.
and Midland schools don't always get the best rap. And I feel like this is one of those things that we get to brag about, and that the kids get to brag about, the teachers get to brag about, everybody gets to brag about. We get to shine.
And, through this, Ashley, I mean, you truly are inspiring hope and just creating, and I know it sounds silly, but a brighter future for these kids and for anyone that's involved in this project. So I want to thank you.
Well, I would have never known. So you're the brains of the operation, my dear.
Well, I don't know if it's the braids, but I would not say that. But it's always
You're the heart of it.
it's always fun to dream big and really work with people that are willing to get on the bus with you and take that journey.
Does
And
that
that's what it's
mean that
about.
we're both crazy?
Yes, with Erin.
Because I feel like that's what you're saying to me.
Ashley's like,
It
it's
kind
not
of
just
is.
me, it's all of you.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think, and it's so exciting to see where we'll go from here. But
Absolutely.
Ashley and Ashley, thank you so much for joining me to talk about this today. On behalf of these ladies and myself, we thank you for joining us on episode 5 of Fueling Tomorrow. We'll chat next time.